Hey everybody, Mike Miller with the Herald Times, columnist Jeremy Price, back at Assembly Hall, wearing Illinois colors for some reason. I have no idea why. I totally forgot who was coming.
Well done.
Yeah, no. I wasn't the only one. I will point that out. I was not the only one in that press room who was wearing actually the same shirt, which is ridiculous. Anyway, beyond my weird wardrobe, what a night. Night to remember, frankly. A record-setting night in a number of regards, beginning with Yogi Ferrell and ending with his Indiana team here in a absolute drubbing of the Illini, a really, really bad Illini team. We'll get to that in a second. 103-69, the final score here Tuesday night at Assembly Hall. We knew this was going to be a night that belonged to Yogi Ferrell, and it certainly did. 9 assists, including the second of which gave him 546 for his career, passing Michael Lewis on Indiana's career charts. Yogi finished with, I said 9, he had 16 points and really kind of led the way for Indiana. A team that hit 19 three-pointers, a Big Ten record for a conference game. I believe broke their own record at 18 three-point effort about 11 months ago against Minnesota. So from top to bottom, just total domination. I think you used the word annihilation in your column.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, this was sort of like Indiana picked up where it left off against Ohio State the last time we saw a game in Assembly Hall. And really, there was just that one moment in the first half when Illinois went on, what was it, a 10-0 run, cut the lead to 1 at 22-21, which that run sort of coincided with Yogi Ferrell taking a seat on the bench, and he came back in after the timeout. Indiana goes on a 10-0 run or
7-0 or 10-0. They had a couple 7-0, something like that.
And pushed the lead to double digits, and it was really never a game again after that. But I thought in some ways that was sort of apropos for this night, for Yogi Ferrell's night. Once again, as evidenced by the 19 made three-pointers, the fact that there were 27 assists on 37 made field goals. It's not a one-man team by any stretch of the imagination, but still, in a lot of ways, this team looks to Yogi to sort of steer the ship in whatever direction it's got to go, and he got them kind of pointed in the right direction tonight, and once he got them going, then it just sort of all came together for this Indiana team once again, much like it did against Ohio State.
Yogi, just stay on Yogi for a second. Certainly playing his best basketball of his career. I don't think it's even close. Just from, I guess, a production standpoint, obviously, but also the way he's leading this team. And we talked a little bit about this at Minnesota, or at least I did. Just the leadership qualities, the even-handedness is really what it is. It's not trying to take over games to the team's detriment. He's doing it in a way that is making guys around him step up, emerge. He's getting more out of guys around him is really what it comes down to. And obviously, you said it, the assists tonight, the 9 for himself, too shy of his personal best, by the way. It's just a continued development for Yogi, unlike really what we've seen at any time prior to this season.
Yeah, I think the big thing that we kind of wondered going into this year was we know that Yogi can elevate his game at a given point, turn on the scoring, do all those things. But the question is, could he actually elevate this team with him? Could he bring other people with him? And that's what he's really been doing lately. While he takes over in those certain moments, but he's also brought everybody up and sort of demanded more of them, and they've sort of matched his competitiveness, his intensity, his desire to win. And so everybody's just sort of working on the same page right now with this team and following his lead. And that's kind of what we've been waiting, truthfully, in many ways, for 4 years to see out of Yogi Ferrell, because you knew that the skill was there, you knew the effort was there, but you just wondered, could he actually translate that to his teammates? And that's what he's finally doing as a senior.
And he owes Max Bielfeldt $20 because Max Bielfeldt was on the receiving end of that record-breaking assist. No, just kidding. That was a joke he cracked after the game. But whether or not he does, I'm not sure. We'll find out without digging investigative work. We'll say, though, that Troy Williams played a heck of a game, too, kind of honestly overshadowed, by everything else going on with the three-pointers. He hit some of his own, and Yogi Ferrell's big night. But 8 for 11 from the field, and really, again, the biggest thing with Troy Williams, no turnovers, and 5 assists to go with it.
21 points, 5 assists, no turnovers. That's a line you can definitely live with from Troy Williams. Like you said, he had a couple of early threes.
Contagious.
Which sometimes you just shake your head because you're just not used to that with Troy.
The first one I definitely did.
Yeah, well, the second one was from pretty deep as well.
NBA.
And at that point, Illinois was trying to play a little bit of a zone. So Troy Williams, not exactly known as your zone buster, but he was a little bit tonight. But just like you said, it was kind of an under-the-radar performance, but it's kind of the study kind of performance that Troy Williams is capable of and needs to have, where he's not trying to force things. He's not necessarily hunting his own things. And when he's not hunting for himself, it seems like that's when the game comes to him. And again, as teams are paying more and more attention to what Yogi's doing, it's going to leave Troy Williams open.
So much of this game for Troy Williams really mirrored what he did against Ohio State, and the result was much the same too. Although, of course, with all the eyes on Yogi, it was something that might wasn't really at the forefront post game. But it definitely deserves to be pointed out that once again, Troy Williams did play a pretty fantastic game. I guess obviously with him, with all that skill, it's a matter of consistency and doing that on a more consistent basis from here. There's a whole lot to go over, Jeremy. I don't want to miss anything as we get into this.
We mentioned Max Bielfeldt being on the receiving end of the assist from Yogi Ferrell, but Max had a really good game tonight. At one point, scored 10 consecutive points in the second half, and would have been 12 if he hadn't missed 2 free throws at one stretch in there. But he was really good again tonight.
Followed up Minnesota pretty well, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and that's that. I think at this point, when you kind of look at them stringing those 2 games back to back, doing what they did to Minnesota, getting really the veterans to kind of take over when they needed them most, and then tonight, obviously, you have Yogi, you have Bielfeldt doing what he did, being able to see that presence, that leadership sustained from one game to the next. Now, I know Illinois is rather awful, but frankly, I mean, they're doing what they need to do against teams like Illinois. We said this last time against Ohio State and whoever else. I mean, they're getting the plays when they need them the most. And right now, I think the most encouraging thing is who's really leading them to that point. It's Yogi Ferrell, it's Max Bielfeldt. Last weekend it was Nick Zeisloft. It's guys who've been around, guys who should be leading that charge, and well, they're doing that.
Yeah, there's no doubt this team's benefiting from the veteran presence it has. In a lot of ways, that's kind of what it's been missing the last couple of years is the leadership, first of all, and obviously the upperclassmen as well. And so it's got both of those things going for it this year. But as you say, it's sort of still feels like we're in wait-and-see mode. They're doing what they should do. They're winning the games they should win, but you don't really sense that they're. I guess the road wins are good in the sense that they've been tested on the road and they're making the plays they need to win those games down the stretch. But outside of that, there's not been a whole lot that really you can say Indiana has passed this test just yet. I think maybe things get a little better on Saturday against Northwestern, which is going to be coming off a tough overtime loss at Maryland tonight, but showed what they're capable of there. But again, timing's everything. So maybe Northwestern comes in, second road game in a row, a little bit out of gas after playing overtime at Maryland. Obviously, we know what this Indiana team thinks can snowball in a hurry, so who knows how that's going to go. But I think over the next week and a half, we'll start to get a little better handle on this Indiana team with Northwestern coming in, going to Wisconsin, and so on.
No doubt about that. Anything else before we wrap this up, Jeremy? Jackson Tharp made his Assembly Hall debut. Tim Prillo came out to the cheers of millions in the student section.
And Harrison Niego hit the record-breaking three-pointer for the 19th made three-pointer of the night for Indiana. So, and Indiana scores over 100 points in a Big Ten game for the first time since 2012 when it beat Iowa 103-89. So, add it to the list of records set tonight.
So many more. We should just brought the whole sheet of records and things. I don't know why we didn't bring that out here. 6-0?
6-0 in the Big Ten. First time since 2007-8, and the other time was, 93, I want to say?
I think so. It's the third time in the last 23 years, so yeah.
Yeah, that'd be 93, 94, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the rarefied air this team is sitting in, which, regardless of how the schedule's shaped out, the record is what it is, and they're perching themselves nicely going into the second half of the Big Ten, regardless of how this all plays out.
Should have led with this. This is a fun team to cover again. It's a fun team to watch. It's a fun team, honestly, to be around when they're actually happy. It's fun again. You know what I mean? And it seems like it genuinely feels fun to those guys too. I mean, obviously, 19 3-pointers will do that. but just from body language to it, it just seems like this team is at a better place.
Yeah.
Different place for sure, but a better place.
Yeah, the interaction between these guys, just sort of the mentality. There's just sort of a unified aspect to this team that's really been missing in the past, and they are having fun. I mean, like you say, 11-game winning streaks will do that for you, but they're doing it. So more power to them.
Can't wait to see where this goes from here, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you. Hey, we'll probably preview Northwestern on Friday, so we'll see you then.
Yeah.